Hey guys, I'm back again to do another review of Fox's Scream Queens. What did I think about this episode, which is basically episode 4? Honestly, this episode was pretty funny, and that scene with that goo coming out of Mrs. Bean's leg completely grossed me out. No, I don't think that Grace is that baby whose mother died in the bathtub, but I also don't think that the killer, as I've been saying in all these reviews, is somebody that we suspect. I feel like there are so many red herrings being thrown out in the different episodes that like that particular killer, or at least one of them, is someone that we least suspect. And some people may say, oh, it's probably Grace. I don't think so, but I could see where you're coming from on that. But honestly, if I had to take a guess as to who it could be, for some reason, I could see the killer maybe being Chanel #1, Chanel Oberon. Just saying. But as far as the episode goes, Denise still thinks that Zayday is some crazy killer, which is hilarious. But at least in this episode, we found out that Denise was rejected by Kappa Kappa Tau in 1988, I guess, for being a woman of color. And as Zayday said, she sees everything that she could have done through Zayday, and that's why she's bothering Zayday. I mean, it does make sense to me. It really, really does. As far as Hester and Chad go, they make the cutest, creepiest, weirdest couple. I don't think Chanel is going to be happy that Hester is trying to, take her man. On top of the fact that I believe that once Chanel finds out that Hester is after everything that she has, Chanel's going to do something about it. Speaking of Chanel, there were 2 funny scenes that she had in this episode. One had to be the one when she was talking and she was swinging those knives. It looked like she was about to cut either, I think it was Chanel #5 or Chanel #3, or is that Chanel #4? The one that wears the earmuffs. And another funny scene had to be that scene in the cafeteria where all of the Chanels, Hester, Chanel with the earmuffs and Chanel #5 were with, I'm going to call her Big Chanel, and they were sitting there like eating these cotton balls soaked in like sauce and stuff like that, which for some people would probably be really, really gross and outlandish, and they're just like, why would they do that? But if you like look it up, a lot of models are doing that. Yeah, I'm side-eyeing that as well. But the funniest part of that scene had to be the whole engagement with the 2 male chauvinists and how all of the girls reacted to that, which I thought was pretty cool, because I really believe a lot of girls who are in that situation want to do that. So I thought that was pretty funny. Another thing is about Earl Grey, like trying to push up on Zayday, which for most people, it's cute and it seems like, oh, the 2 people of color are getting together. But my thing with Earl Grey is, what are his motives with getting with Zayday? Like, what does he gain from this? I'm just saying. And also, it's this whole thing whereas Zayday wants to become president of Kappa Kappa Tau, which is pretty funny considering that at some point Kappa Kappa Tau didn't let girls like Zayday in. So it feels like Grace, Zayday has something that she needs to kind of prove to, I guess, herself and to her grandmother who said she'd be president of the United States one day, just like Grace has something to prove to, I guess, herself and the memory of her mother by joining Kappa Kappa Tau. That's the only reason why she's dealing with this whole thing with the Chanels. So when Hester and Chad go into that haunted house, which first of all, when they met in the cemetery, I was cracking up because Chad was like out there like playing it with himself, and it was just gross. And then Hester comes along and she's all like into it, and then she's just like, oh, we'll meet later. And then the next thing you know, they show up, and the first time that I watched it, I'm thinking, oh, they text each other, but apparently they didn't, because obviously the killer texted them both and made them both meet at the haunted house, and that's where they saw the bodies of Headless Coney nailed to the wall. Who was it? Shondell in the like fold up bed in the wall, and then who else was it? Oh, Mrs. Bean laying on the bed, which is pretty funny because during this episode, besides the grossness of Hester sticking her finger into Mrs. Bean's leg and that like yellowish like green crap came out of her, and I was just like, ugh, the first time when I watched it, and then the second time I forgot about it and I was eating, and let's just say I'm still completely grossed out. But we learned during this episode that Mrs. Bean was a part of the cover-up involving the girl that died and the baby, and the dean had a really big part in it. We learned that via Mandy, because of Grace and Pete going to meet her, and Mandy's like all whacked out and crazy, but she did give us some insight where she said that one of the Kappa girls joined Fox News, one was institutionalized, one changed her name, and one killed herself. So basically we learned during this episode, obviously, that Mandy went a little crazy. Gigi is the one, I'm assuming, that was holding the baby, so she's the one that had the baby. I would love to know who the other two are, but we'll probably only meet maybe one more of those girls probably in the next like couple episodes, but still I would love to know who that next girl is, and did we encounter her or not? Like, is it gonna come out and be like Charisma Carpenter, who was like Chanel number 2's mom? Or am I just completely off my rocker and like far-fetched in this whole explanation? But it's pretty crazy in the end how Gigi turned out to be that hag of Shady Lane, basically. And at first when they were explaining it, I was wondering who that person could be, and then it all made sense once they explained about the diapers and how the hag stole the diapers, stole the toys and everything. And it all pretty much made sense. But thank you guys so much for tuning into this review. I apologize for being so late. But before I forget, I wonder what the killer gains from taking Zayday. I wonder why they took Zayday. It has to be something more than just because she walked out by herself. And I'm sure in the next episode we're going to find out a piece of it. But it was pretty surprising when the killer grabbed her, because I figured he was going to stab her if he got her, and then when he just grabbed her and they disappeared, I should have known. But I am so looking forward to tonight's episode. Thank you guys so much for being so patient and for tuning into this review. From Thursday to Sunday, I attended New York Comic Con. That's the only reason why all of these reviews are late. Don't forget to rate this video, leave your comments. Let me know what you thought about this episode and this season so far. Also, hit me up on Google+. I'm at Sage Valentine, and Twitter at Sage Valentine. If you see this thing on my neck, it is a Shadowhunter tattoo that I wore with my cosplay, and I've been so tired that I haven't taken it off yet, so hopefully by the time I do my next review, you won't see this hair, but if you do, you know why. But I love you guys. Take care. I will see you after tonight's episode. Bye, guys. Bye.